Hello and welcome to Pro Tour Season 2 coverage for the MSEM format. Today we're going to be watching the Grand Finals match between JustNobody on Adiran Survivor and cftsoc, who is on Green-White Enchantress combo. So, Pip, what do you think about this matchup?
Well, if I'm going to be honest, I think there's not a lot of play here. I think both players are just going to try, pre-board are just going to try to race each other. Post-board, Jan probably boards in a bunch of hand attack. cftsoc boards in a couple of tutorable targets that make Jan's life a lot harder, and then they have to choose between racing or comboing.
Yeah.
I definitely think that the matchup is...
Jan being in Mardu lets him have access to Ozin in the sideboard, which is reasonably helpful against cftsoc deck. Not once it gets going, but then it can help deal with cftsoc resolving like a prison piece like Sigil or something.
Yeah.
So of note, JN is coming here from loser side, so JN has to win 2 sets instead of 1 in order to take first place here.
Although JN also is the higher seed, so has the advantage of always being on the play.
Yep. So JN opening up with Flooded Depths, grabbing a Swamp. Turn 1 Unmask. Does JN have Unmasker main? I believe it does. Yep, there it is. Turn 1 Unmasker. Let's see what cftsoc hand looks like. Elder's Wisdom, Ardes, Dryad, Prismatic. Oh, this is a...
One thing to know about
really
Jan's deck...
dirty hand. I don't know what I think you'd take Elder's Wisdom maybe, but...
Oh man, I'd probably take the Dryad of the Grove.
Okay. I mean, cftsoc is getting to 3 mana turn 2 anyways, and the 4 mana doesn't really change much about the play pattern, is my thought.
I guess that's... Well, I mean, no, 4 mana does change something about the play pattern. It means cftsoc has the ability to turn 3 if he draws... Or sorry, turn 2 if he draws the right card.
Really?
I.e. go Elder's Wisdom into... yeah.
Okay.
So if you do turn 1 Dryad into turn 2 Prismatic Leyline, untap that land, or play a second land, tap it, Prismatic Leyline on 1 land, tap it for 2, untap, tap it for another 2, Elder's Wisdom into another 1-drop enchantment, you can generate up to enough mana to play Artie Study and potentially go off. You need like the perfect top 13 cards. It's a mostly hypothetical thing, but yeah. Also, hitting creatures with Unmasker is usually better.
Or Elders would have disrupted the potential for that, right?
Yeah, would have stopped the potential turn 2. Unmasking creatures is generally better, because especially creatures with tap abilities, because it slows them down more. Because now if cftsoc wants it, he still can play it turn 2, because turn 1 land, or sorry, turn 2 land, tap the prismatic one, take it back, pay the other mana, play it, but it still slows it down. One thing to know about JN's deck versus a lot of the other Survivor decks we've seen is it's less all-in on the combo.
It's running like we saw in the match with the sideboard. The young necromancers, because during Survivor, the first drafts of that deck kind of evolved from JN's own Anarchist Thanksgiving, and it seems like JN kind of pulled it back to those roots, like being like having the potential to just kill your opponent is fun, but also being able to grind out your opponent when that stops being an option is also powerful.
Absolutely.
I do think in this matchup, though, JN wants to have the combo.
Wants to just be racing here. Yeah. You're not going to really outgrind that deck with Young Necromancer loops. Post-board, I would not be shocked to see JN cutting Young Necromancers in favor of just more hand attack.
Yeah, I think we'll look at the sideboards when it comes to game 2, but I think, hand attack and Ozin are probably what's coming in. Okay, just JN getting in for 2 there. Could play Zetla and then -2. I don't know if JN or Monger is the one who has Zetla main board. Let me check.
Jan has a 1 of Zetla.
Okay, so Zetla would be good here as a potential to just steal Elder's Wisdom. Actually, are there any cards cftsoc wants to discard here? Well, it could be whatever cftsoc top decked, but yeah. Jane thinking about it. Does Jane have anything that he'd want to keep mana up for here? I don't think Jane has any instant speed interaction that really matters. Or could just be thinking about, I don't know, thinking about what to name with Stolen Secrets. That would just be enchantment. I don't know what.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe just trying to decide whether put something with more pressure onto the battlefield or disrupt more.
It ends up going with Twilight Blade. Okay, so
Jan does get at least one more full turn.
Mm-hmm.
Not in danger of dying quite yet.
And if Jan really does have the nut, like if this grip that Jan is holding right now is land to Adiran and then a 1-mana sack outlet, Jan, by dropping this Twilight Blade, could just win next turn. As unlikely as it seems.
That's true. Also, there's a chance that Jan could get there even with only 1 Adiran. Let's see. Swings for 4. Puts the FC. No, not quite. I'm very close to being able to do that.
Okay, so tapping out for Elder's Wisdom, this basically means cftsoc has the potential to go off next turn, especially with RDs in hand already, which is kind of disgusting.
Yeah, it's going to be a big draw.
So, speaking of big draws, Jan just drew for turn. It's kind of pondering over what to do. Maybe just like trying to think of like what his outs are. Okay, that's an Arctic Mine.
Yeah,
notably,
possibly.
It's a turned off Arctic Mine, so he won't take any damage from it, though I doubt that matters at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think if Jan had the kill, Jan would just be going for it here because cftsoc is tapped out, which tells me that Jan's hand is being difficult in some way.
Yeah. Does cftsoc have any instant speed interaction?
Not main board, I believe. Sideboard, they have...
Sideboard, harsh unprep.
Yeah, harsh unprep.
Okay, yeah.
And even then, like, cftsoc tapped out.
Notably has a main deck
Optimal Watch,
I did not know
and then tapping 2 for Young Necro, maybe, and then just hoping to spin the wheel into something. Yeah. And swing out for 4.
Well, also Young Necro is nice because it means that JustNobody can now do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage at any point in time. Via sacking Unmaster, then the token, then Young Necro, and the token, then Twilight Blade. So there's a good chance that if Jan gets another turn, cftsoc dies. However, I think we're about to see Jan not get another turn.
Yeah, like as soon as the mana trackers come down, it's a bad sign.
It's not a good time.
So paying 1. Oh, does cftsoc have a prismatic leyline here? Oh, yikes. Okay. Yeah, another untap. Another like mana aura is exactly what cftsoc needed there. Okay, so now can reasonably play RDs. And paying 3, yeah, okay. And it looks like that's what cftsoc is going to be doing, playing RD Study. Time to spin the wheel.
It's really wild seeing Elder's Wisdom Storm finally come together because after Storytime was added to the format, I tried brewing that deck and it couldn't get there. It sometimes turn 3'd, but more often it was like a turn 5, turn 6 deck. It was kind of mopey. And it really feels like Tenacious Brawler and figuring out the tutor package really was key in making that deck good.
Yeah, just like it has so much resilience now. Like we haven't been seeing it in this game since Jan hasn't really been interacting. But there was a game versus Cyber where Cyber sealed attuned all of cftSoc's Elder's Wisdom, and cftSoc still won that game just from raw value. It's like it's like a weirdly resilient deck just with all of its tutoring, and like tenacious brawler loops end up giving you like card advantage. It's kind of crazy. And yeah, so
has cftSoc played a win? Okay, so cftSoc can go infinite from here, right?
I believe so, because Slaffield bounce self and then just play it infinitely, and then because he's generating 4 mana each time.
But he needs to generate 5 to go infinite.
Oh yeah, to play it as well.
Right?
Mm.
Oh, 6. Okay, so it's pretty far from it. But since he hasn't played a land this turn, he can play Shrine off the top of the Artie's library.
Yep. And then what? Wait. Play another Keeper? Does his Keeper? What's the order? Let's see.
It's Keeper, Shrine, Keeper, Forest, Requiem.
Oh.
I also wonder if you fetch
the
Forest out of that library.
Then cftSoc just plays Keeper, grabs another Prismatic Leyline, puts that Prismatic Leyline on the plains, I think, because it requires white, and then puts that Prismatic Leyline on the plains, and then he goes infinite.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Wait, with infinite mana here, what can cftSoc
also isn't quite well, infinite mana also makes infinite 0/2s.
Oh, yeah. Okay, which is good for blocking against this. And it's
I think actually instead of playing out the full thing, he's heavily incentivized to bounce Artie's Study, replay Artie's Study, and then keep doing stuff.
Oh yeah, that is an option. Mm-hmm. And searching for I guess to double Elder's Wisdom. It's basically a better mana aura at this point.
Yeah, that sounds very efficient. Because each Elder's Wisdom gives you +4. So, yeah, this is infinite mana, which with Artie's Study is infinite card draw.
Oh,
there's a Writing Wonder.
Okay. So Writing Wonder's in hand? Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, this is over.
Instant fatality.
Yeah. JN is definitely... JN's just... He's dead, but he doesn't know it yet. Or...
he does know it. He has all the information. Yeah, exactly. Bounce Leyline infinitely.
He's not conceding yet. But yeah, this game is over. Yep. So game 1 goes to cftSoc. Okay. So let's look at the sideboarding. First up, let's look at cftSoc's deck. So I think Sigil of Radiance in some number is definitely coming in. Just that stops JN's ability to loop cold.
I mean, I'm kind of in the mindset of cftSoc's deck just might be faster.
But then it doesn't hurt to have like a 1/of to search.
I guess. Let's see. Like, what cards come out? Probably cutting enhanced armor. But like, there's not that many things you want to trim from this deck.
Oh wait, cftSoc already has a Sigil of Radiance main. Okay, yeah, then I think cftSoc's deck, like Harsh Unpreparedness and Sigil are. Oh, I guess. cftSoc might want more interaction since they're going second, but I don't know.
I mean, they were going second that game too.
I mean, I agree, but then they might be like, well, it was good that I won, but I also think they might still want to hedge their bets, as it were. But yeah, I do agree that like cftSoc main board is really tight, and I honestly can't see what would come out for stuff like Sigil and Harsh Unpreparedness to come in. But I think, yeah, if anything comes in, it would be those. Okay, on JN's side, I think we're going to be seeing Stolen Secrets, Duress, Seal the Tomb, Zetla, Ozin. Maybe not all of those, but those are all like the options. I think Seal the Tomb for sure, the Hand Attack for sure, Ozin for sure, and then Zetla is kind of just... Zetla's a maybe, but Zetla is just very good versus cftsoc deck. What do you think, Pip?
Yeah, I would. So for cftsoc, I would try to find room for a couple more Sigil of Radiance, but the rest I just wouldn't bother with. You'd probably cut like Enhanced Armor, maybe trim a Requiem of the Fallen. I don't know. That feels wrong.
Mm-hmm.
As far as JN's deck goes, I would cut the Young Necromancers and the Chi-Gao, bringing up 5 slots, and bring in 2 Seal the Tomb, 2 Zetla, 2 Duress. Maybe find room for the Azuns. Probably by cutting Departed Evangel, because you're just not grinding here. You're just racing.
Yeah. And everything else is essential to like the racing plan except for Departed and then the Young Necros. Gift is arguably not part of the plan, but it's also just good digging, so you can find all your pieces. So I think Gift is going to stay in. So yeah, that's our estimation of the sideboarding. Let's go back and see what they're doing. Also, is this are these sets best of 3, or now that we're in the grand finals, are they best of 5?
Yes, they are 2 best of 3s.
Okay, so in that case, cftsoc, this could be a tournament game right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, winning that first game is huge for cftsoc now. So both players drawing their initial hands. cftsoc with the that's usually not a good sign. And JN just keeping. cftsoc also keeping. Okay. But you don't want to see your opponent just snap keep at 7 when you're hesitating. So shock fetch turn 1 into swamp. Yep. Are we going to see the same line as last time, or does JN have Adiran this time? Oh no. Okay, leaving with hand attack. Revealing Slapfield Working, Prismatic, Elder's Wisdom. So
I think you take Elder's Wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, just take Elder's Wisdom.
Because you can't stop the turn 1 aura, and you just want to make sure that there's nothing for them to play turn 2. And if JN has Seal the Tomb, or like top deck Seal the Tomb, they can just Seal the Tomb, the Elder's Wisdom,
and still somehow die.
Yeah, which is definitely a possibility, as we've already seen this tournament. But it's the best possible line that you could have. I wonder what Jane's thinking about, because still like considering. Yep. Okay. Elder's Wisdom at last. Okay. Turn 1 Primal Resurgence. Huh. Prismatic Leyline. This is actually a weird call, because I don't think it would usually matter, but I think cftsoc should have played the other 1 mana aura here, because that one can only be attached to basics, and at a certain point in the combo you do need double white, which should be easy to achieve at that point, but Prismatic Leyline put on a white land guarantees you that. So I think the sequencing here, while it rarely matters, still could be impactful. Anyways, JN.
Yeah, that's possible.
JN cracking another shock fetch for now red. Zetla? No. Playing a 1-drop. Another piece of hand attack? No, Adiran Survivor. Okay. Tapping another. Devour. Oh no! This is 2/3 of the combo. And cftsoc can play Slapfield Workgate here, but Devouring Flame has
Well, cftsoc can play both Slapfield Workgate and a token.
Oh.
And another enchantment, which is enough to make 2 things.
Okay. So cftsoc is safe for now. Okay, playing Amber Hills. Okay, tapping out for Slapfield Workgate, and then now plays the Resurgence to get another Ox token. Yep.
Oh boy. That's a lot of mana.
Oh, another Resurgence? Okay.
Well, that's enough tokens to maybe survive for like a couple turns, actually, which is pretty huge. Assuming JN has the combo, which could be not the case.
But also this just means
people don't always have the combo.
This means that like as soon as cftsoc top decks an Eldritch Wisdom, this game is going to go big sideways for JN. So JN draws a card, tapping 2 for Egg of Avarice. Yeah.
So Eggs away the Adiran Survivor. So June can pay an arbitrary
the rare main phase egg. Interesting. Okay.
Well, it's a sorcery activation, so you better use it main phase.
Oh, or like main 1. Because I thought Jane would like swing out with the first Adiran to try and take out an Ox or something.
Well, this way he can still do it with swinging out with the Devouring Flame, and take out 2 Oxen potentially by paying 2 life.
Jane also doing that chips significantly into Jane's life total.
I mean, 2 life is fine because each creature's deck is at +2/+0.
Oh, okay. You're not going all in with it. Gotcha.
Yeah, just pay 2 life when it's blocked by 2 creatures, and then kill the 2 guys. Because you need to start chewing through those as fast as possible.
JN demonstrating the Adiran Shuffle right there.
Slide to the left.
Slide to the grave. Slide to the battlefield. Now
take it back now, y'all.
That's we're seeing the mana trackers come out. Here we go. You know what that
Don't count that one.
Folks. So Elder's Wisdom?
Yeah, presumably. Or the Idyllic Tutor dude also makes sense.
Oh yeah, Keeper of Holy Lands. Yeah. Spends the mana thinking. So I guess cftsoc has 2 possible things to play here. That's interesting.
My apologies. I actually have to duck out for a little bit, but I hope there's more games to watch when I get back. It's very possible it might not.
I mean, with this Keeper,
but yeah.
it's looking like a done deal. But yeah.
All right. Good luck to JN and cftsoc.
Okay, so I'm assuming this Keeper is going to search up an Elder's Wisdom, because then cftsoc can play Elder's Wisdom and then have enough mana to essentially just go off. Oh no, Sigil. Okay, interesting. Well, okay, I guess Elder's Wisdom doesn't trigger on itself, and then cftsoc wouldn't have enough mana to play another enchantment even if they had one. So Sigil is a way for cftsoc to buy time for a single turn, and then in 2 ways. 1, preventing the Adiran loop, another, creating Ox tokens, and then presumably next turn. Oh wait, cftsoc had another Primal Resurgence. Damn. And then next turn, presumably. Well, actually, cftsoc is now empty-handed, so I don't know. I guess it was a better safe than sorry, but then if cftsoc had, well, I guess looping Slapfield Workgate a bunch wouldn't really do anything, especially without like an RD study or anything. Okay, so since cftsoc has like a bunch going on, but doesn't really have enough of the pieces, they just have too many land auras and not much else. So playing Sigil to like slow down JN while hoping to top deck into something like an RDs makes sense. Like at this point, RDs, Keeper, Requiem for the Fallen, Elder's Wisdom itself are all live. Like most of cftSoc's deck is a good top deck at this point. So JN dropping them? I think the only way JN has to deal with a resolved Sigil is to play the aggro plan, which I don't think with Slapfield Workgate out, you kind of don't have that option. Or you have to just go hard on the dig to find Ozin plan. But JN tapping 2 for a Blood Artist effect or Zetla. I think Blood Artist effect is what JN really wants here. Yep, Blood Artist itself. And then just swing out with both Devouring Flame and Adiran. Or maybe sack, and then maybe main phase 2, sack Devouring Flame for something more impactful with Egg. I don't know. I wonder what's in JN's hand.
So it looks like JN not only didn't lose the game, JN is... Oh, there's a Sigil of Radiance. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was like, well, this game certainly turned around from when I last was. Okay, though.
Yeah, I guess, so cftSoc's last card in hand was like the third Primal Resurgence. So I guess they could have tutored for Eldritch Wisdom, but then they wouldn't have been able to go off that turn, and they didn't have anything to, like, they could generate infinite mana and bounce Slapfield infinite times, so they didn't have anything to do with that. So I guess cftSoc just decided, most of my top decks are live, so I just grab a Sigil and then wait for a good top deck, rather than going all in now and then burning out.
Yeah, it makes.
So main 2, I think JN is thinking about sacking Devouring Flame and searching for something, maybe? Like an aggressive creature at this point. Yep. Sacking Devouring Flame, gonna drain 1. Blood Artist also makes like Ox Chumping much more like undesirable for cftSoc, because even though like cftSoc is only taking half the damage, cftSoc is still taking damage. Getting Autumnal Watch is a weird one though. I thought Jane would want to get a 2-power creature to try and whittle down these Oxen. Or maybe Jane has a white land in hand and is hoping to just dig for an Ozin to deal with Sigil and then go off. I don't know.
Also,
top deck that Wayfarer Shrine. That's not what you want to see.
Every Oxen that dies is 1 life lost, which is neat.
Okay, playing Grim Bastion and then probably searching for Arctic Mine here.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Or just play Ozin.
I guess Jane could just hard cast Ozin here if Jane has it. And at that point...
So if Jane casts Ozin, does he win? Yeah, can Egg of Avarice the Autumnal Watch away for a second Autumnal Watch, pay 2 life to return both to Adiran, kill?
But it all hinges on having Ozin.
Yeah.
Which, considering JN hasn't immediately windmill slammed Ozin, yeah, and tapping 2 instead of 3. What's this gonna be?
looks decidedly like not an instant win.
He kept the young Necros in. Okay. Interesting.
But it does definitely feel good here. I'm not convinced it feels good.
Situation, so
get a token.
Sack Optimal Watch for another Optimal Watch, get a skeleton, and then next turn, spin the wheel and hope to get Ozin, because that means you win the game.
Well, no, because you can't cast it. So don't do that.
Next turn.
Next turn. Yeah.
And then hope that cftsoc top decks another land here, basically.
Especially can drain 1, 2, 3, 4 more life.
So it all comes down to cftsoc's top deck here. Because cftsoc has so many live cards at this point, but also could just hit another land. Cracking the Wayfarers on upkeep, trying to thin it out a little bit. And at this point, if cftsoc loses, it's likely not going to be to life. Could be to Blood Artist Drain, but I think cftsoc is more likely to lose to themselves. Let's see what they drew. That's not what you want to hear. cftsoc saying, I didn't play this game very well. And the fact that cftsoc didn't already play the single card in their hand and is saying thinking, that's worrisome. Like, what could it be?
Do you mean nothing?
Just going to end? Huh? Is it harsh unpreparedness? Is that what? It must be, right? That's the only instant speed thing cftsoc has. Does it matter at this point? I guess in response to the first sack, can harsh unpreparedness... Oh no, okay. Huh. Okay. So I guess Jane is really just going to try and attrition this instead of digging for Ozin. I'm honestly surprised, but okay. Oh wait, does Jayan have enough to kill cftsoc here? So it drains for 4, 6, 8. Oh, Jayan has exactly enough drain actually with this Twilight Blade to kill cftsoc. Because oh wait, no, or is Jayan one off? I think Jayan has exactly enough drain to kill cftsoc, but I'm not certain. Well, okay, actually, even if Jayan is one off, all Jayan has to do is go to combat, swing with Young Necro, and then do all the draining.
Yeah, because it can go 1, 2, so...
Oh, that's another egg.
How does that affect it? Yeah, another egg makes this easier, I think. Sacrifice the Autumnal Watch, drain 2, make a Skelly, find another Autumnal Watch.
And then that's just
Skelly. So 2, 4, 6, 8.
Who do we appreciate? Autumnal.
Yeah, that's very lethal.
Yeah, I think so. That's game for JN, unless, like, is there any way that cftsoc can sequence? Yeah, game 3. Okay. So JN takes game 2. So we're going to the third game of the first set of this grand finals. Notably, cftsoc still has a chance to just win it all here, but JN also is in a position to just reverse the situation, reset the bracket, and then give himself a fighting chance to win the whole tournament.
And to be fair, that was through a Sigil of Radiance, so that was decent disruption on the part of cftsoc.
Mm-hmm. It's just cftsoc like had a run of like bad luck there, essentially. Or not bad luck. It's just that cftsoc was like kind of emptied their hand, and then just didn't top deck a relevant card. But cftsoc probably could have gone off earlier if they'd if they could have gone for something else other than Sigil with Keeper, but JN having double Adiran basically forced cftsoc to go for Sigil. Because everything that cftsoc could do would have to happen on their next turn, and then leaving JN with access to Adiran looping is not safe. And still, I guess JN won without it. So the Adiran deck is not safe either way.
Yeah.
Okay, so drawing initial hands. Hopefully we don't see any hums out of either of these people. Oh no, cftsoc is snap mulling, going down to 6. JN is also mulling down to 6. And we see the from cftsoc now. That's not a good sign. And going down to 5. Okay. cftsoc deck is reasonably resilient, and with the London mulligan can do very well. But we'll have to see. So JN keeps at 6, cftsoc keeps at 5. So ideally, cftsoc goes land, turn 1 aura, and then turn 2, or actually, ideally it's land, Dryad of the Grove, and then land prismatic leyline or something next turn. But we'll see. If JN has hand attack here, though, could really just tear apart whatever cftsoc is planning. Yep, so turn 1 prismatic leyline, just going to go to end. So it does have access to, if cftsoc has another land here, could just go land into Ardes. Land into Ardes would really put cftsoc back into the game here, or Elder's Wisdom is fine too. JN could just turn 1 hand attack here though. Tapping black, Duress, yep. Revealing Ardes, Sigil, Wayfarers, yeah.
I mean, that's definitely a 5 you keep. But this is also the reason you don't mulligan aggressively versus discard-based decks. Ooh. Sigil is a scary take. Because that means JN has no intention to play this as a fair game. Because if you do play this as a fair game, you take the Ardes study because you can win through it. Win through Sigil. But JN basically also, saying
Ardes gives
choke on your card advantage and die.
More, stuff which can be dangerous.
But yeah, if you let them keep the Ardes, you're saying, I don't care about your card advantage, I'm just going to kill you.
Yeah. So, Primal Resurgence, Elder's Wisdom, and 3 lands. Oof. That's a not insignificant hit from cftsoc. I wonder how the lands are interlaced in there. Like, what the ordering is. Oh, that sucks. Having both of the relevant cards at the bottom of the study is not how you want this to be.
So, that's pretty bad. But if cftsoc has a fetch land, cftsoc can fetch from that library and get a reshuffle.
Oh, okay. So then cftsoc just draws the forest next turn, plays hills,
plays the fetch land, tries it again,
and then grabs forest, and then plays resurgence, and then can play wisdom. Okay. So
that's assuming they don't get shuffled into the other order.
Wait, no, it wouldn't have. Oh yeah, no, you're right. Sorry.
Well, sometimes Magic is a very interesting game.
Well, it's not so much the game that's being interesting right now. It's the programs we're using.
I'm gonna have to head out. But best of luck. I'm still surprised that JN took that last one. Let's see if we get a full 2 matches.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, we had a brief issue with the program that we're using, Lackey CCG, having some weird desync issues between the players, but we're back now. So going on to JN's second turn. So JN has a full clutch. cftsoc is down to 1 card in hand. This Arties can like nab cftsoc some value, but without like Slapfield Workade to start bouncing Arties and then drawing more cards, cftsoc is going to be back in top decking mode. And last game when they were in top decking mode, they ended up just not like being like it slowed cftsoc down enough that JN could just control the flow of the game. And like Pip said earlier, JN grabbing Sigil is a scary call because it really looks like JN is not intending to play this game in like the same grindy fashion they were playing last time. It looks like JN is probably just going to try and hit the Adiran combo in one way or another. So plays a shock fetch, searches up for our black-red check land. Tapping for presumably Adiran. No, Gift of the Phoenix. Interesting. Discarding what? Discarding Adiran? Discarding Duress. Okay. The taking of the sigil continues to be confusing. Okay, let's see what JN drew into here. Tapping 1 for Adiran Survivor. There we go. Still doesn't have the potential to combo off next turn, but in two turns, JN could potentially do it. Meanwhile, cftsoc going to do the line that we talked about last time. Oh no. Okay, interesting. So cftsoc could have tried to play through their archive last turn by drawing from the archive and then playing the land from the archive, but they chose not to. I guess hoping to top deck into something impactful. But since they didn't play anything, I'm assuming they didn't. So JN with a third shock fetch, probably going to search up Arctic Mine so that they have perfect mana. Yep, here comes Arctic Mine. Okay, Autumnal Watch, that's a strong start. A Blood Artist effect here would be good, or Egg of Avarice. That's Egg of Avarice. So I guess, again, what is with these main phase? I don't get these main phase eggs at all. Like main 1. Like there is no cost to JN swinging out with the Adiran Survivor first and then main 2 Egg of Avaricing. Unless JN is looking to like get something to play this turn. But no, that's just another Adiran Survivor. You're not going to be using that for anything. Or at least this turn, as far as I know. Because JN's tapped out. Probably not going to sack it to Autumnal Watch. Yeah. So I think JN missed a chance to just swing in for 2 there. Which again, I guess if JN is planning, if JN has the Blood Artist effect in hand and is planning to go infinite next turn, really don't care about that. But if cftsoc like top deck Sigil or something, and JN is forced to start playing the fair game, it literally cannot hurt to get in 2 damage with the Adiran Survivor. Anyways, let's see what's cftsoc top decked. Okay, playing the shock fetch from the top of his archive. Can use that same shock fetch to grab a forest from the archive, hope to hit. Well, actually now with this mana, it doesn't matter which order they're in. cftsoc can play them both. I guess if cftsoc wants to generate, no, I can't just go. Why? Maybe cftsoc doesn't see that line. But also with 3, like, what are the 3 cards in cftsoc's hand? Does cftsoc have like Harsh Unpreparedness? If cftsoc does have Harsh Unpreparedness, why aren't they playing it now? Are they like trying to like play around JN dropping Ozin? But I think that, I don't know. Or maybe they're trying to use it to grab a Blood Artist if JN drops one. I don't know. Yeah, so for all of the life that Jane's lost, Jane has taken 11 damage from his own mana base. Okay, so Jane is going to be cracking egg, sacking a Adiran survivor, presumably bringing back the other Adiran survivor from grave. Is that a mistrigger? Or did Jane not already have a Adiran survivor? No, Jane does have another Adiran survivor in grave. Did they miss the trigger? And yeah, cftsoc saying technically Jane missed the Adiran trigger. But cftsoc giving Jane a pass. Jane brings back Adiran survivor. And now JN wins the game. Okay, duress saying just in case cftsoc has harsh unpreparedness, I guess. But yeah, at that point, so JN just loops through his entire library with Autumnal Watch because any life that Jane would lose from Adiran survivor triggers is recouped by Soul Warden. And then Autumnal Watch just finds Jane a Blood Artifact, at which point Jane continues the loop, but starts draining cftsoc. So Jane takes the first set 2-1. We're going into set 2 now. So I'm not quite certain how bracket resets work here. Do they both have to go back to unboarded decks? I believe so. And I think JN also still, because of seeding, gets to be on the play. Okay, so both players have drawn their initial hands. cftsoc is keeping at 7. JN is mulling to 6. And JN is keeping at 6. So since these matches are back to being unboarded, cftsoc doesn't have any interaction. So I think cftsoc keeping a hand at 7 means that it's a hand that's both fast and probably resistant to hand attack in some way, just like by having multiples. Because otherwise, with JN on the play, it's very hard to win otherwise. So JN going turn 1 Adiran survivor, passing. Definitely a scary sight to see. cftsoc responding with their scary 1-drop in kind. So Jane could just go egg, sack it Adiran, and then grab like Devouring Flame or something, or grab another Adiran more reasonably. No, just going to play a Blood Artifact, swing with Adiran for 2. cftsoc is probably not going to block with Dryad. cftsoc thinking about it. Why would you block? I don't think there's a good reason to block here. Because JN is definitely going to have ways to sack and bring it back. And you need to be going fast against JN, which letting your turn 1 dork die is not a good way to do that. Yeah, so cftsoc takes the damage. Actually, one thing that it could have been is like cftsoc didn't have a second land drop and was like, hey, I'm not going to get to 3 anyways. That would be okay. That would be dumb. Never mind. Okay, so cftsoc has 3 mana here. Tapping out 4. Keeper of Holy Lands. Interesting. Searching up Sigil or searching up a combo piece like Artie's Elder's Wisdom, Slotfield Workgate. Yep, okay, searching up Sigil. cftsoc having like a 1 of Sigil main is like a really strong meta call here. And it gives cftsoc like so much game pre-boarding. If Jane has hand attack here though, Jane can just snatch it. Tapping a mountain and not a swamp though. Optimal Watch? No, Gift to the Phoenix. Discarding. If it's another Adiran, that's going to be scary. No, Cradle of Corruption. So I guess maybe hoping to draw into hand attack? There it is. That's the duress. So 2 lands, Slotfield Workgate, Enhance Armor. Oh, Enhance Armor makes this hand attack a lot susser. So I guess you do take Sigil to delay them for a turn. And that gives because cftsoc can play Enhance Armor next turn to get back Sigil, but then doesn't have the mana to play it. At which point, if JN has another piece of hand attack, can just hand attack it again. And honestly, with cftsoc not really having Elder's Wisdom, and that's a double Adiran. With a Blood Artist effect on the field, Jane's down to 1 card in hand, but as soon as JN top decks a sack outlet, it's just game. So playing out the Enhance Armor to get back Sigil. If JN top decks, also the sequencing there was a little bit funky. I guess cftsoc wants to buff. Actually, I thought with Slaffield, cftsoc could have made 2 Oxen, but I guess cftsoc wants to use Enhance Armor to buff up Keeper so that Keeper can survive blocking one of the Adiran survivors. So how it comes down to is JN can win the game right here if JN has either Egg or a sack outlet, but if JN has neither of those, cftsoc plays Sigil of Radiance next turn and is in a very strong position. Or Hand Attack could help, if that's what JN's tapping this 1 black for. Unmasker, okay. Yep, and so it's 3 shock fetches and Sigil. So cftsoc can still get it back next turn and play it, but I guess it puts cftsoc off tempo / makes them lose 1 more life. Also gives JN just another body to try and chip away and attack with. And playing out the other card in hand. Is it young Necromancer plus Blood Artist is just so powerful. Because now JN can basically attack with impunity, is really what this is. Or I'm surprised. With that kind of... Does the 3/3 being able to kill his stuff scare him that much? I don't know if I agree with that, honestly. I feel like JN should have swung out with the Adirans. Because cftsoc is going to be playing Sigil right here anyways. Yeah, cftsoc gets another Oxen, so now that's a 1/2 Oxen that can block profitably. Yeah, I really feel like JN should have swung out last turn when only 1 creature would have died. Yeah, strangely enough, neither of these players, Jane was about to combo off, but now that cftsoc has the Sigil down, both of them are forced into a fair game. And JN is kind of winning in it, or not JN. cftsoc is kind of winning in a fair game. As crazy as that sounds. Just having decent creatures and blockers, I guess, is good enough. So I don't know. I don't think I agree with JN's choice to just hang back and not attack. Because I feel like in a top deck war, cftsoc wins here because cftsoc still has access to their combo, still has access to just dropping enchantments and growing their boys basically, and getting new chump blockers. So, and JN doesn't even have access to white mana. I guess JN with that shock fetch can now go search for Arctic Mine, but in general, last turn JN didn't have access to white mana for Ozen, so just attacking would probably have been better. There might be something I'm missing, but it feels like JN having Blood Artist and Young Necro is even stronger of a reason to not play passive here. Okay, so cftsoc is tapping out for Tenacious Brawler, going to Flicker Keeper essentially and that gives cftsoc 1 more +1/+1 counter from Enhance Armor, another Oxen from Slaffield Workgate, and then it lets the cftsoc tutor for something. Okay, so playing an arty study here. It's interesting to get this and not, I guess, Elder's Wisdom without auras is kind of bad. And cftsoc is kind of on that fair game plan. So, all 5 good hits here. Requiem for the Fallen, Arty Study, Elder's Wisdom, Prismatic Leyline, Tenacious Brawler. Yeah, those are all good hits. So the ordering of the study is Brawler on top, then Leyline, then Elder's Wisdom, Requiem, Study. So cftsoc can play Brawler for x equals 0 on Keeper, and with that other land can also play Prismatic Leyline. cftsoc can also tutor from within the study. I wonder if that does anything right. I don't think it does anything right now, honestly. Okay, so I guess Jane is just, I guess cftsoc just going to wait until next turn when they can go off, because next turn cftsoc just Brawlers the Keeper, and then gets Prismatic Leyline, plays Elder's Wisdom, Arty Study. I actually don't know why cftsoc wouldn't just do that on their turn. I honestly don't. And it's on Jayan's turn. Jayan is tapping out for a mountain. So now what happens is Jayan has the mana to play Ozin. So Jayan is at this point, and with Young Necro has a bunch of hits. So Jayan is just going to drain cftsoc for a bunch and then hope to hit Ozin so that they can go infinite and kill cftsoc. Heck, even another, I feel like even another Blood Artist effect or another Young Necro here works. So does Twilight Blade do it? Let's see. So each of these, so it's drain 4, and then yeah, I think that's enough to kill cftsoc on the spot here. And cftsoc conceding. So Jayan wins the first game of the second set. Okay, so I don't think sideboarding is going to look that much different from set 1, so I'm not going to go over it again. So cftsoc keeping at 7, that's a snap keep, so it must be a reasonably good hand, especially because cftsoc is going first, so cftsoc does have just raw combo potential on their side. Meanwhile, Jayan is going to mull to 6. Really, Jayan needs a hand that is either faster than cftsoc, which would mean having the turn 2 or turn 3, or has better interaction in the sense of just having hand attack. cftsoc going for the classic turn 1 land, Mana Dork. So this does mean that cftsoc has access to the potential turn 2 combo that Pip was discussing earlier, which is play a land and a land aura, play Elder's Wisdom, play another land aura, untap everything, play Arty Study, and then hope to hit the right sequence of cards. So Jan going Shock Fetch into a turn 1 red-black land. That is interesting. Presumably playing Gift to the Phoenix turn 1. Or I guess Autumnal Watch works too. But Adiran, just going Adiran Survivor. Interesting. In that case, I wonder why Jayan didn't just go for a swamp. Maybe Jayan doesn't have any more shock fetches in hand, and therefore wanted to just get the land as quickly. I still don't get it, because I feel like, yeah, I'm not sure why Jayan would get the red-black pain land in this situation. cftsoc tapping 3, Elder's Wisdom. That's the hand that you want to see. Didn't have the extra, didn't have the extra mana aura, or maybe they did have it and they're just saving it for next turn in order to go off, because that gives like a better, like more consistent chance to just like untap and like storm off. Notably, I don't think cftsoc has any. Yeah, cftsoc doesn't have access to any white mana. JN hasn't played a land yet. Did JN keep a one-lander at 6? Is that why they searched a red land to hit Gift of the Phoenix, potentially? Oh no, so they do have the shock fetch. I guess they were debating for a second whether to keep it up to recur Adiran Survivor, but cftsoc doesn't have any kill spells which actually like send Adiran to the graveyard, so it doesn't matter when. And it's better if cftsoc has like a 2-drop to just play it now. Sorry, if JN has a 2-drop. So with 2 mana and JN thinking, maybe JN has either has a choice of playing Egg or Zetla. Zetla, a -2, could potentially disrupt cftsoc and prevent from going off next turn, but Egg is more. It gives JN a chance to go off on his next turn. So tapping 2, let's see, does drop the Zetla, going to -2, presumably. Yep, -2. It's time to spin the wheel. Let's see if cftsoc discards something important. Requiem for the Fallen. That's a hit. I don't think it's something that's important, though. Unless cftsoc untaps and has a Tenacious Brawler, in which case, yeah, cftsoc ends up being very sad. So cftsoc tracking his Wayfarer Shrine, grabbing Plains, which finally gives him access to white mana, and tapping out for Artie Study. This is kind of the exact sequence of cards cftsoc wants. Now, what cftsoc needs further is really Slapfield Workgate and some more like land auras. Oh my god. Another Elder's Wisdom into Primal Resurgence, into Dryad of the Grove, into another Artie Study. Oh wait, no, sorry, another Artie Study is on top. Oh, that's a problem. If the Elder's Wisdom had been on top, then cftsoc could really have gone off. So what happens here is cftsoc pays 3 for Arties, untaps 2, and then I guess hopes to hit a 1-mana aura on top. Because if cftsoc hits a 1-mana aura on top and they get to 3 mana, then they can play Eldritch Wisdom and then go off from there. So actually, this depends on what cftsoc has in hand right now. But I think that cfsoc's only real option is play the second study, hope to hit a 1-mana aura on top. If cftsoc does hit a 1-mana aura, play that 1-mana aura, and then Writing Wonders from hand. Okay. Yeah, okay. Actually, playing this first is fine because it's mana neutral. It's free. So, and then play the Artie Study. And now you hope to hit a 1-mana aura on the top so that cftsoc can continue going off. Oh, Dryad of the Grove is so close to a 1-mana aura, but it's not because it can't tap the turn it comes in. So, not what cftsoc wanted. Still gets a counter on Writing Wonders, hasn't gotten a glory counter yet. Tenacious, actually, yeah, Tenacious Brawler. If cftsoc had untapped green, then cftsoc would have been able to go Dryad, Tenacious Brawler for 0, just to untap the lands, Slapfield Workgate, and then go off. Okay, so cftsoc plays Dryad of the Grove from the top of the study and passes. And cftsoc wins next turn unless JN somehow wins here. Which, with one Adiran Survivor in hand, I don't think is possible. I mean, sorry, one Adiran Survivor on the field. But let's see. Autumnal Watch and then another Adiran Survivor, I'm presuming. Actually, so we can play Wayfarer Shrine, use it to recur Adiran, and then continue going off. Can't, like, I don't think JN can win here, right? Because JN needs 3 mana. 1 to play another Adiran Survivor, and 2 to play a Blood Artist effect. Okay, so plays the Unmasked that he impulse drew. Grabs Keeper from cftsoc hand, which I really don't think cftsoc cares much about. cftsoc has everything they need in archives anyways. It's really just for JN to get another 2 digs off of Autumnal Watch. Which again, I'm not sure what JN is digging for here. I guess another Adiran Survivor. But if JN does get another Adiran Survivor, JN doesn't have a Blood Artist effect. So yeah, that's it. And then I guess JN, if JN has like another 1-drop in hand, can play the 1-drop and then dig 2 more, but then there's no point to that because JN can't play anything else. Is JN thinking of sacking Watch to itself? No, tapping 1 to play Autumnal Watch from hand, and then sack one of the watches to try and... No, okay, just going to end, yeah, because there's can't find anything. Now cftsoc has, I think, a very real to guaranteed chance of going off, because starts by playing the Elder's Wisdom from the top of, and then just plays through the entire rest of, actually just has enough mana to play through the entire rest of the study, which is 6 more counters. And then I think does this give cftsoc enough to go infinite mana? I think it is. At which point then cftsoc just loops Slaffield, right? And then wins with Riot of Wonders. Or could just hit 2 more cheap enchantments off of RD Study, really. Yeah, and JN just conceding before cftsoc even has to play it out. So we're going to game 3 of the second set. A full 6-game grand finals here. What a way to end the second Pro Tour. So whoever wins this last game is the winner of Pro Tour Season 2 for MSEM. And with JustNobody on the play, you have to wonder. cftsoc doing some sideboarding here, which does let me know that, like, depending whether cftsoc on the play or on the draw, they want to have different cards. I guess on the draw is go as fast as possible. On the play is have interaction. Could be wrong though, but I suspect that's what it is. Siding in harsh on preparedness and sigil is my thought. Both players have drawn their initial hands and are thinking about it. I suspect cftsoc is waiting to see whether JN keeps to decide whether or not to keep himself. And JN is keeping at 7, and immediately cftsoc is like, no, I'm mulling. And mulls down to 5. Okay, keeps at 5, but man. This is the second time this set cftsoc has had to mull down to 5. You don't want to see it. And if JN has hand attack turn 1, this could turn into a non-game, which really isn't how you want to see this tournament end. So JN cracking a Wayfarer Shrine. Swamp, presumably. And then hand attack, which is what you don't want to see here. Unmasker, which is effectively hand attack. Man, how are you going to hit someone with the good luck and then hit them with the turn 1 hand attack, huh? I think grabbing Prismatic Leyline may be the right play here, because it cuts Safety Stock off Already Study turn 2. Or just like, yeah, top decking something and then hitting it turn 2. Yeah, and this way Safety Stock doesn't have a turn 1 play. And yeah, Safety Stock's just forced to play the Shock Fetch and pass. Can play the Sleeping Dryads next turn, but Sleeping Dryads being 2 mana instead of 1 mana really hurts here. Yes, the JN Classic playing another Shock Fetch. But yeah, if JN has like some other hand attack to follow this up with, or just like even hitting Zetla here is so damaging for Safety Stock. Tapping 2 for Egg of Avarice. Is JN once again going to do main phase 1 Egg instead of main phase 2? Notably, like Egg into another Unmasker is so painful here, because then JN can grab Safety Stock's turn 2 play. And okay, you know what, JN? Fine. Just do your main phase 1 eggs. Getting 2 damage in doesn't matter anyways. And yep, another Unmasker, grab Sleeping Dryads. And yeah, Safety Stock just top decked another land. And then Safety Stock, and then like by the time and then next turn JN can just do the same thing and grab Already Study this time. But again, if JN doesn't attack, then he's not doing anything with this tempo. Yes, JN saying, damn, this might swing for 2. You've been missing it all set, man. So yeah, Safety Stock just playing another fetch. And unless Safety Stock top decked like Sigil here, or like another Sleeping Dryads or something, probably just gonna hold the mana up to grab something back at end step. Because grabbing it back now obviously leaves it. Oh, Slapfield Workgate. Okay, that's good. Acts as a blocker for this Unmasker. And I guess next turn, this turn JN is just gonna swing, use Egg to grab Arties. So next turn, Safety Stock's play is just pay for Unmasker, grab back Prismatic Leyline, play Prismatic Leyline. And see if this time JN remembers to attack before activating Egg. Safety Stock chumps with the Ox token. And is going to just Egg Unmasker for probably another Unmasker. Oh, Adiran. Okay, interesting. So JN is just hoping to go off next turn. Still has 2 mana open, so could just go Twilight Blade? No, another Egg. Okay, just Egg Adiran for another Adiran, and then next turn can potentially just go off to win. Egg Adiran for Unmasker. Okay, yeah, fair. And then next turn, Egg for another Adiran. Yeah, this is a super punishing line. Also, why Unmasker is probably like one of the most pushed cards in the format right now. Oh, I'm playing the Shock Fetch in order to get Adiran back. And could also just have like another one drop in hand. Next turn though, JustNobody can Egg for another Survivor and Egg for Autumnal Watch, and then loop Autumnal Watch a few times to try and hit a Blood Artist effect, and then try to kill Safety Stock. And I don't think Safety Stock has any way to interact with that. Safety Stock just conceding in advance, saying GG's. He sees that JN has the line next turn. I definitely don't think I didn't play this properly. JN also saying neither did I, but Come on, JN, you're the one who turned up the winner in the end. Oh, and cftsoc saying he had a second 1-mana aura and he kept sleeping dryads over it. Oh, that's painful. That means Unmasker wouldn't have been able to put cftsoc off of a turn 1 play. But regardless, JustNobody, after a grueling 6-game set, bringing it back from the loser side of bracket, is your Pro Tour Season 2 champion. Adiran Survivor was definitely a deck that was expected to have like a strong showing in this Pro Tour, and JN used it to like the fullest advantage, making his own spin on it, combining it with his old Anarchist Thanksgiving build, and then adding in Mardu, or like adding in white for that Mardu splash. And you know, it just goes to show why JN is first seed. Definitely one of the, if not the strongest player in MSEM right now. Hello, JN. And congratulations on being the Pro Tour Season 2 champion.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Great. Yeah, oh my gosh. What a sequence of matches coming up from the losers bracket.
Going to full 6 games. Oh my god. Like after cftsoc won game 1 there, I was like, huh, okay. I'll be able to get out of here quickly then. And then it was another hour and a half.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, and some of those games were really, really tight. Like, I always felt like either I was a turn away from winning or cftsoc was a turn away from winning. Yeah. Every time.
And like, it felt like cftsoc just ended up being on the top decking end a little bit more often than you. And that just kind of what sealed those few other games.
Yeah, it was interesting. Two of the games that I won through Sigil, just with sacrificing a board to drain.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really interesting, not going for the combo.
Yeah, because actually, me and Pip were suspecting that you'd actually side out Young Necros. But then the Young Necros ended up being like pivotal in the games that you won. It really felt like...
Yeah, no, I would not side out Young Necros. Young Necros treated me really well.
Okay. I guess our thought process was like, this is like such like a fast linear matchup that like Young Necro, which is like a grindier card, wouldn't be as good as like interaction from the side.
It's a strange matchup because we both have turn 3 wins.
Except you have like,
but at the same time,
you have better interaction than cftsoc does at the end of the day.
Right. I am running that whole discard suit, so some games can just end up very grindy. Although I think Sigil of Radiance is as strong interaction against me as Duress is versus him.
Yeah, but then like as a counterpoint, you have that white splash for Ozin, which is like...
I did not bring in Ozin.
You didn't? Okay. Then why? Okay, I'm surprised.
No.
Because there's one point where I was like, okay, he can loop Autumnal Watch and then try to hit Ozin here, because you have like Ozin mana and then he had Sigil. But I think you ended up winning on the next turn with just Drain. But yeah. I'm surprised because I thought like this is exactly the matchup that you'd bring Ozin for. Just take out a problematic enchantment and then just win.
Ozin just seems too slow here.
That's kind of how I feel about Young Necro, except Young Necro is an interaction. But I guess
I considered it, but like every other piece is like a piece that wins me the game or better disruption. Okay. So like I had one Zetla, and I thought about taking out the Zetla for Ozin, but I decided to stick on Zetla.
Oh yeah, no, Zetla is definitely...
I didn't bring in my other Zetlas.
The -2 is like so killer.
Yeah, the -2 has a lot of potential, but I don't think it ever achieved anything. It was definitely the worst card that I kept in. cftsoc typing about Zetla. No, I completely agree that Zetla was the worst card, but my other sideboard options were like Seal the Tomb, Azun, or
Wait, you didn't bring in
Ash
Seal the
Speaker.
Tomb either?
I did not bring in Seal the Tomb.
Huh.
I only brought in 3 more discard spells, and I took out my Departed Evangels and Chigaw the Red Market.
Okay, yeah. Pip and I predicted. So our predictions was like Departed Evangel, Chigaw, and the Young Necros for like some combination of Seal the Tomb, Zetla, discard spell, Ozin from the side.
Seal the Tomb seems really bad here. cftsoc rarely ends up with cards in the graveyard.
I mean, the thought was like turn 1 discard spell, turn 2 Seal the Tomb, Elder's Wisdom, cftsoc.
I guess I didn't want to side out any of my proactive cards.
Okay.
So I didn't mind taking out like Chigaw and Evangels, which I've taken those out nearly every game. Nearly every match, I side out Chigaw and Evangels. They're kind of just flex slots, and I think it's possible there's just better cards to run in those slots mainboard. And this match, it seemed like Dress and Stolen Secrets were very much the way to go. cftsoc thinks Azun is good here. It just felt slow and not like it progresses my game plan.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I think like being able to, it just feels like disruption that doesn't have like a time, like a disruption that you can top deck, because like hand attack, like once cftsoc like resolve something, it's just like, well, I am out of luck, and that's generally like the problem with black disruption, right? But Ozin gives you a way to like either top deck or through optimal watch looping, or just just raw optimal watching, just get disruption.
Right. So I think Azun is pretty slow in those explosive games because I think cftsoc's wins both involved like just going off on turn 3 or 4.
I mean, if you're on the play,
and in the grindier games.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I was just saying, like, if you're on the play,
in the grindier games, it's. Sorry, we keep talking at the same time.
cftsoc said what I was gonna say. Anyway, so just continue. Yeah.
Yeah, eating wisdom or arties. I've just felt like I just want to top deck more Blood Artists and Twilight Blades and Young Necros because I can just grind out by drawing those things. There was, I think, our match 2 game 1, my only out was Autumn Watch or Egg of Avarice for Autumn Watch, which like isn't the worst having 8 outs, but like I cracked my fetch and went to draw and I got there. And that, I think, whole Pro Tour could have swung on that draw.
So what are you going to champion?
Gosh. I've got some inside knowledge of bans and nerfs coming up.
Don't be
so I'll have to think.
Don't be a coward. You have to champion regardless of bans and nerfs. That's the way to go. You think people actually want to play with
I could be bold.
Champion cards are there to sit on the wall and look nice and remind us of the past. So
remind us of our terrible mistakes.
Or if you're the person playing the card, amazing victories. You know. Hers is shame.
Yeah.
JN's triumph. Just get a cycle going.
No, I really didn't contribute anything to this deck besides the name, which I'm very proud of because it's gross and red black and lives for a month. But everything else was done by the folks running it in the GP, and I just sort of picked up the list.
Is it weird that I kind of disagree with that? Because I feel like you have like some really like small impactful tweak. Like I guess Monker was running like the Soul Sister in the GP, but I feel like the choice of adding white is like significant. I don't think Monger like I could be wrong, but I don't think like Monger and stuff were like running young Necros and stuff, like the grindier cards.
Monger's deck was leaning more Glass Cannon than mine.
Yeah, so I think like your choice to kind of like
I believe
like roll back into like a more resilient deck, which was definitely like I don't know. I think like saying like I think it's like the framework of the deck, sure, is like from like the Monger and Kevin decks, but I think like you definitely had some modifications which are very important to how the deck played.
Let me peek at Monger's Pro Tour list because we did have some interesting choices in slightly different directions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Monger is very much all in on combo, running Forbidden Truths to tutor up pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and Nature's Claim to break through Sigil of Radiance.
Mm-hmm.
And no Young Necromancers, only one Unmasker in the main board, 2 more on the side. Yeah. Admittedly, Monger has the advantage on me in the mirror, and I did not. I think Monger threw both those games when he could have won.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
Yeah. So I've gotten some undeserved victory in this series.
I mean,
I do think
if it all came down to it all comes down to like player skill, right? And in the end, it just ended up being that like like I don't know about calling it undeserved in the end, but yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. And I did feel favored against cftsoc going into the finals. I was really impressed by my victory over Cyber in the semifinals because I think Cyber is slightly favored over me.
And Cyber did beat you last time, so.
Cyber beat me once, and then Sift beat Cyber, and then I just sort of crawled my way back up from the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Well, I am very tired, and I'm pretty sure all of y'all are too.
Yeah.
Good games to y'all.
Yeah.
And excited to see what y'all bring to Season 3. And hope to see y'all in Season 3 Pro Tour.
Thank you so much for the work you've been doing, commentating and making videos, producing content.
No problem.
It's been a great season.
Hopefully I can actually get some of like my huge backlog up starting now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, get excited for what's next in MSE Modern 2 because there's some cool things right around the corner.
Oh yeah, wait, when's the next rotation? The next rotation is coming up, or like the next like the
next rotation is not until November.
Oh,
the next
okay. Is it just
release
like
of
set nominations end September?
Yeah, I believe end of September is going to be when sets are due. So if you've got a project in the works, you've got a month to finish it out.
Okay, totally. Time to submit Custom Core 2019 to MSEM.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, it's been a solid like more than 2 hours of this final. Mm-hmm. So I'll see you around.
See you guys.